We're back.
Okay.
This is a very long overdue video. This is something that's on my mind all the time, but we had kind of a rough go the last couple months and we missed it, but it was just too hard to pick up the camera. So we're back now though.
Yes.
Hopefully to stay. I had my thyroid medication lowered because it was overactive, and then it shot up to 2950. So I was in no place energy wise to do anything, and our cat died, and we just, well, for me personally, I don't know about Ben, but for me, I just was not in a good place to film. And even though I wanted to document the bad stuff, I just didn't feel good enough to, I guess. It's the best way to explain it. Mm-hmm.
I too have, just been same, way I've been feeling all that hot, especially, with infertility. But yeah.
So, I think the last place we left off was my cyst procedure. I don't think did I talk about that? And how awful that went?
I don't remember.
Yeah, I feel like...
Well, it's been long enough, so maybe we'll talk about it again.
I don't
even
know.
Though it's
just
literally the previous video.
It was super early in the morning. I had to drive into LA traffic to get to my appointment, and it was too early to eat. They advise you take Advil before. I completely forgot to do that, and so what did you just do?
I went.
So it was very painful. Very painful, kind of traumatic. And I laugh. So this may be TMI, but I'm trying to have a very open channel, but it felt like I was on my period, and it was just like the worst period I've ever had. We're cutting this part too.
Okay.
Let's see. But luckily, my friend Eileen took me. So, because even though you can drive yourself, it was nice to just curl up into a ball and have her drive. So.
It was very nice of her.
Mm-hmm. Thanks, Eileen, if you're watching this.
And I have been on Clomid since, I don't remember. You're on your second refill now. Right, and each one was it 60 or
3
90
months.
days? So it's
3
3 months. So I'm on month 5.
Yes.
Roughly, or 4.
Prescribed by his urologist.
Yeah, my urologist prescribed it, and we did...
Well, hold on. Even though your levels of testosterone were in normal ranges, on the lower side of normal, so they wanted to see.
Well, also, they tested the FSH on me, is what they actually tested, not my testosterone levels. They tested my testosterone levels afterwards, and they look fine. Or, I mean, they're like in the middle, but they're still low on the middle, so I feel like that might be something to look at as well.
So his sperm count before Clomid was
millions, like
5
5 million.
Yeah, so much.
Super high. But so that was before Clomid, and after Clomid, I went up to, with the first semen analysis, I went up to about 140 million.
Oh my god.
140 million sperm. That's a lot.
That is. That's in normal.
That's normal range.
Yeah.
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 So
We got very uplifted with the news that
Yeah.
Clomid increased his sperm count.
still not pregnant. And so it took us. We got the good news for the semen analysis, so we were like, yay! But it didn't have morphology or motility on the test, so we still don't know those numbers. So we went ahead and spoke with the urologist, and he's like, so is she pregnant yet? And I said, no, not yet, anyways. And then a couple months passed, and so obviously at the 3-month mark is when we tried, that's when we did our analysis, and then a couple more months, or a month or so has passed, and because when I was on the phone with the urologist, I asked him, like, well, it didn't have morphology or motility, could we test that? And he's like, yeah, sure, I'll put in the order, and then you can just go and get the stuff and, spank it into a cup. And
That's a recurring theme.
yes.
I missed hearing that.
And so we did the second test, or the next test is fourth. So this is I think my 4th semen analysis at this point, and we're like, okay, morphology, motility, all right, here we go. So I go to drop it off, and the lady's like, 1 moment, please. And then she's helping some other person. I'm like, this is time sensitive, we gotta get this in. It's already been pre-cooked, so it's gotta go.
You don't want to share the nightmare of the
Getting into the car.
Yeah, I'm the getaway driver, guys. Like we have to prepare our leave. We have to prepare our leave.
Okay.
Before we do anything.
Right. So she gets the car ready. Getaway
we
car.
load up the car with our stuff because he goes to work after.
Yeah, because I do go to work afterwards.
So we have to load it up, have it ready, everything's done.
Then we go,
And then I run down the stairs, I run out to the garage, I run into the car, get it going, and he, jumps in and I drive away and I, speed the speed limit, the maximum speed limit.
Yeah. The speed limit
to
get to the hospital.
Which is
20 minutes away.
And
15 minutes
yeah,
away.
it's already time sensitive. You have to hold a sample between your
Yeah, you're supposed
thighs.
to hold it between your thighs, which is
Keep it warm.
Keep it warm. Try to keep it warm. And then when we brought it in, it just took another 5 or so minutes to get the actual person to look at it. And then as we're doing it, I'm like, it's testing morphology and motility, right? She's like, no, it's just count.
It says motility on there.
All right, it said count
motility.
and motility, but it didn't say morphology. So they're like, no, that's a different test. And I'm like, that's the whole reason why I did this test, was to check
motility
and morphology. And so I'm like, whatever, and it took a little while for her to finish that up, and then I left. And then I checked my app, my health provider app, and the test came back, and my sperm count was still okay.
Normal range.
I think it was like 40 million.
But the timestamp on when they actually tested it was past the
It was
time.
over an hour.
It was over an hour, so sperm is already deteriorated by then. So it's almost like it's inaccurate test at that point.
And on top of that, the motility wasn't even measured.
Even though it was ordered.
Even though it was ordered on that one. I mean, I get the morphology wasn't, but motility should have been there. And
So yeah.
And then my doctor called me up, and a couple weeks later, or a week later, and he's like, yeah, so counts are up and down. I'm like, that's all he said. He left a voicemail because I was out and about visiting my friend who just got back from deployment, and So he left a voicemail and it said that, oh yeah, it's up and down. You guys might have to do IVF. Or actually, I don't even know if he said that. He said, oh yeah, the count's up and down. That happens. I'm not sure what you want to do. And then I was just kind of annoyed because he was such a great doctor and to leave that kind of like dismissive, like, yeah. But the biggest problem I had was that like you didn't even get the stuff we wanted to order. Like that's why I wanted to talk to you, was I wanted the morphology and motility ordered. And then so we're like, all right, screw it. Let's call around. Let's look.
Yeah.
You want me to continue that train of thought?
No, yes, I do.
Okay. So I said, let's call around. Let's see if there's another place maybe closer to home that we could go to, or maybe that has a room to, so we don't have to special deliver, in the getaway car. So we looked around. I called a couple different places, and everything is basically in like Beverly Hills or there's nothing local that can do it. So not where we live. So it's unfortunate. So because it's going to be just as much travel, we're like, well, might as well just stick with whatever we're doing now.
Well, yeah, at least the test is somewhat covered by our health insurance.
Yeah.
I mean, we still pay out of pocket, but it's not as much as if we were going to go to somewhere privatized.
Yeah.
But in addition to all of that, like, I just want to add, like, I have people in my support groups that deal with infertility that have very stubborn husbands, and it's bad enough to, as Ben calls it, spank it into a cup, and to convince their husbands to do so, but then for them to mess up, like, at such a high level of messing up, like, these are people's lives that, like, hang in the balance. It kind of messes with your head a little bit, like, it's, a big deal. So, for us to just get nothing out of that, and I just want to add also, like, he can't just do the test at any time. He has to work around my cycle. He can't do it on certain days because
you have a very short cycle. I mean, compared to...
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Well, I'm just saying, like, there's... So, the baby dancing has to happen, between whatever and whatever days. And then we have, like, maybe a 2-week period before you start your period again.
Yeah. And we're kind of not motivated in, like, the 2-week wait because we are still hoping the impossible is going to happen. So when it doesn't, that's when we're like, okay, we got to do something. And then we don't have much time to do something. Okay, next cycle.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah, so we ordered some in-home sperm tests too that we're going to try out, and we'll let you guys know how that goes.
It tests motility, not morphology.
Yeah.
But at least we can do it at home.
Yeah. Yeah, something that we can try out. I don't know how good they are. They're probably not that accurate, but something to try out at home.
Yeah.
To get a, second opinion.
But I feel like this is what infertility is. It's a lot of waiting and waiting.
And just like you guys for our next video.
Yeah. And like, yes, we did have stuff to talk about, but it just feels like, what are we going to talk about next? And we're still waiting, and so maybe doing some videos that are not completely infertility oriented, but because we do want to document this time for us and for our future family, however that may be. So, yeah.
Yeah.
That's all you wanted to say?
That was all that was on the list. What do you want me to talk about? My Steam Link and my iPad? I'm playing World of Warcraft.
Sidebar. He's got WoW on his iPad, guys. And he's playing with a Steam controller. Not a keyboard. So
It's
come at him, bro, with no keyboard, computer elitist.
It's okay, I don't have PvP turned on. I don't have to worry about getting, as they say, wrecked.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Where are we now?
we're in the house.
Where we are now.
So right now, we're going to get another semen analysis probably here in the next couple weeks. And we're probably going to look into whatever else we can do. At least, to start, well, maybe now that my numbers are normal, maybe IUI might be an option. So we're going to look into that because IUI, I forget however many, is somewhat covered by my insurance.
Yeah,
so.
the procedure would be about $4,000. Yeah, there really hasn't been a rush on his semen analysis because...
Oh, we should talk about, so yeah, let's continue that thought first though. What did you say?
There also hasn't really been a rush on his semen analysis because, if it does show low motility and morphology and we have to move on to IVF or IUI, it's not something that we could financially do right now. So it's kind of like there is no rush, even though I feel impatient for things. So there's no rush. There's no rush to find that out.
Yeah.
But also we do want to find it out. So.
Yeah. So we wanted to also bring up for us Californians the new law that's trying to pass in California called AB 767, which is basically being worked out. The general idea of it is to provide a mandatory fertility coverage for all Californians.
On their health insurance. Yeah,
on their health insurance. So basically they're trying to come up with a good plan to cover the fertility. Like they obviously are trying to be smart with their money and not cover everybody infinitely. So it's also, so we were talking about AB 767. It's passed, what section of government is it in?
The Assembly Health Committee passed it.
Yeah, so the Assembly Health Committee passed AB 767, which is good. It's still not law yet, but it apparently will go into effect January 2020. There's a march for a specific organization called Resolve.org, and they're doing a march in Sacramento. They're doing a march in Sacramento.
They do it all over the country.
Yeah, they do it all over the country, but for us Californians, they're doing it in Sacramento on October 5th from 9 to noon.
Yes. And we're going to walk.
And it's in downtown right in front of the Capitol building. We're going to be there.
We're probably going to, sign up and, get sponsored to help raise money for awareness and fertility. So that's something to look forward to.
Yeah, and we're hoping more laws and more states get on this so-called bandwagon and start working on this because, I think the number is 1 in 8 couples suffer from infertility.
Yeah, I think some people say 1 in 6.
Yeah,
it's pretty high.
So it's a high percentage of the entire population that suffers from this, and I think that denying the ability to get any of it covered under medical, because having a baby is, whether or not you agree having a baby is something that only specific people who are healthy can have, or if you have to pay for having a baby.
It's a very low percentage on how many live births per year are from IVF because of the money that's involved.
rate's around 33%, right?
I mean, it depends on age and diagnosis.
Yeah.
But it's, you know, I don't know.
But yeah, so because of all that, you know, we're really excited for what may come.
Yeah, if it passes, it can go into effect as early as January 2020. I mean, so that's something to look forward to. I don't want to put all my eggs in one basket. But, you know, I am turning 35 in January, so this tells me that, you know, that my fertility drops off drastically at that age. So that does scare me that we can't do anything before that time, but, you know, we'll see. I mean, maybe.
And we're working on it.
Also, sorry for, I think I noticed my dog sneezing, and you might have heard it minutes ago.
Yes. So yeah, you know, if you don't have anything like AB767 in your state, then I highly suggest, you know, calling your congressman, your representative, and asking about it.
There's a lot of information on Resolve that I found very helpful. They give you how to talk to your employer about adding fertility benefits, and it's usually pretty effective.
Yeah,
So.
and I think someone said the additional cost to add like infertility to your benefits was like 6 cents per person in the plan. It's like
5 cents.
5 cents per person in the plan.
Mm-hmm.
So literally
it's not making a
pennies.
dent. It's not making.
Yeah, compared to, you know, I mean, thankfully it's going to be, you know, a part of, you know, hopefully come in January, hopefully it's going to be a part of law, but, you know, you may be able to talk your workplace into adding it and mention like, well, according to, you know, Resolve, and look at Resolve, and they'll be able to tell you the details you need to tell your employer. It can be as inexpensive as 5 cents per person. So that's definitely a great option. And with that, that's all. Ta-ta for now.
Ta-ta? That's not even something you say.
TTFN. Ta-ta for now.
That's not even something you say normally.
Okay, what do I say normally?
Cheers.
Cheers.
No, you don't say cheers.
What do I say?
Until
I am a banana! No, what do I say?
Until next time,
Until next time.
wait for us with bated breath.
Don't. You'll die of asphyxiation. But we will see you
Until next time. We'll see you in the next one.
Ready? 3, 2, 1. We'll see
you in the next one.
Jesus Christ, Lauren. We'll see
you in the next one. What do I have? Like stuff on my face?
No, your face is fine.
No, but like right here.
Yeah, there's powder now. Because of the
I
tissue.
don't want that in the video.
Okay, well, don't turn that side of your nose to the camera.
It's fine.
Yeah, it's fine. I don't know how to get rid of it.
Hold your thought. That's just skin, Ben.
How am I supposed to know?
where my face ends and begins.
Yeah. Am I supposed to know what's part of your face and what's not part of your face?
Yes, okay.
Okay.